What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something every artist needs to understand before signing that dotted line, the exclusive recording artist agreement. This particular one is between, and I'm not going to name any names of the company or the artist, so we're just going to say said record label and said artist. And trust me, there are a lot of things in here that can make or break your career if you don't pay attention. Let's get into it. So, this agreement was originally dated September 8th of 2008, and it basically lays out how long the artist is tied to the label and what they're required to deliver. Now, the deal starts with a 9-month initial term, but here's the catch. Said record label has 3 one-year extension options they can trigger without needing the artist's approval. That means the label can stretch this deal out for over 4 years, and the artist has no say in the matter. That's what we call a unilateral extension option, a major red flag if you value your freedom. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna analyze this contract. That's just some basic information on what I just saw when I skimmed through the contract. But we're going to analyze it now with ClauseProbe, and let's see what else we can find. Give her a second, she's cooking. Looks like she's going deep in. Yeah, just looking over this contract is about 14 pages, and there's a lot of legal jargon, okay? So this is pretty much the simple scan, the basic scan, and let's see what we came up with the simple scan. So this agreement is an exclusive recording contract between said artist and said music company, signed in 2008 and governed by Texas law. The artist grants the company exclusive rights to their recording services and all resulting creative works, masters, music videos, intellectual property throughout the universe in perpetuity for an initial term of 9 months with 3 one-year options exercisable by the company. The artist is required to deliver a minimum number of albums, the cost of which are treated as advances against future royalties and are fully recoupable by said company. All masters created during option periods are considered work made for hire for the company. The contract outlines various royalty rates for different formats and sales channels, which are subject to numerous deductions, reserves, and recoupment of advances. The artist's audit rights are heavily restricted, and remedies for the artist are severely limited, primarily to recovering only specific royalties owed with no right to terminate for most company breaches, including royalty accounting issues. The company maintains broad control over the artist's professional activities and creative output during and for a period after the term, including merchandising rights. The artist is responsible for many costs and indemnifies the company broadly. Wow. Okay, so that's pretty much the plain language summary, which it also came up with about 13 red flags. About 13 red flags. So this contract has a broad grant of rights and perpetual ownership. It also has work made for hire clause, a work made for hire clause, and then limited artist remedies and termination rights. All right, so we're gonna also do a deep probe of this contract, and let's see what comes up. Let her cook. Let her cook. Should be done in a second. Yeah, this process right here, it takes a little bit longer. That's because it's going word for word. It's looking at all the legal jargon. It is scrutinizing every clause that's in this contract. And this contract is about 14 pages, so it takes a little bit longer. Let's see what's going on. There we go. All right, so on the Deep Probe Level 2 results, we have 10 critical findings that we find. And let's go over those right quick. Wow. Sheesh. This contract is a mess, man. So for any of you musicians and artists out there, this ClauseProbe app definitely is something that you could keep with you at all times. And pretty much when you're doing your dealings, whether it's music, whether it's sports and entertainment, this will come in handy. Because I know you don't have your lawyers with you at all times. Sometimes, these record execs and whatnot, they want you to sign right there on the spot. Okay, this will actually help you make a quicker decision. All right, so with the Deep Probe, what it reveals is that the contract, beyond its already identified egregious terms, is meticulously constructed with numerous layers of subtle disadvantages, ambiguities, and procedural traps designed to maximize company control, minimize artists' income, and extend the artist's obligations indefinitely. The company's leverage is absolute, from creative control and financial liability to legal recourse and the very definition of the artist's intellectual property. Hidden clauses ensure the company can claim ownership of virtually all artist-generated content, deduct internal costs from artist royalties, and delay payments without clear justification. Timing traps such as delayed option period commencement, extended terms for artist defaults or industry-wide events, and severely restricted audit periods lock the artist into a long-term unfavorable relationship. The financial burden on the artist is exacerbated by clauses that make them responsible for third-party payments beyond allocated funds, subject them to fixed, outdated deductions, and allow for indefinite withholding of funds. The cumulative effect is a contract that systematically traps the artist in a cycle of debt and diminished creative ownership, with extremely limited recourse and an inability to truly exit or profit fairly from their work. Man, this contract is crazy. So now let's look at the actual contract that we uploaded in ClauseProbe. And I just want to mention this section right here. Now, this section is on the second page of the contract, and this is the album delivery requirements. Now, I'm not going to read this information, but you guys can see it on your screen. Now, during each contract period, said artist has to deliver one album, and each album must have all at least actually 10 tracks running between 45 and 74 minutes total. I'm gonna repeat that again. Now, during each contract period, said artist has to deliver one album, and each album must have at least 10 tracks running between 45 and 74 minutes total. Each track has to be at least 2.5 minutes long. Sounds clear, right? Well, not exactly. The agreement doesn't clearly define how many songs per album beyond that minimum, or what counts as an acceptable delivery. That kind of vagueness gives the label flexibility, but it also leaves the artist wide open for exploitation. If the label wants to push deadlines or reject work, then they can. Now, this is going to be probably the most important part of this contract. The ownership and control over this contract. Now, here's where things get even more concerning. Master ownership. So in ClauseProbe, let's find that section of the contract. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to find the exact section that this is listed. All right, here we go. All right, in this contract, a master or masters refers to the final, technically satisfactory sound recording of the artist's performances, okay? Now, in this contract, the deliverable recording, the artist must deliver each master in the form of a digital 2-track stereo tape master and any multi-track master tapes that are fully edited, mixed, equalized, and leadered for the production of parts from which satisfactory phonograph records can be manufactured. And that is found in this contract in section 2.04 F as in Frank, okay? So that's one of the features that you can find by talking to the ClauseProbe agent, okay? Now, the contract doesn't clearly define who actually owns the master recordings once the music is done. That means said record label could claim full ownership of the artist's work, even though the artist created it. And on top of that, said artist doesn't have approval rights over the final mixes or how the music is released. So if the label decides to remix, edit, or even package the music in a way that the artist doesn't like, tough luck. Now here's a section that's even more important than the masters. I mean, the masters are very important, but I think this is probably the most important part. Money matters. Okay, now here's the biggest missing piece, royalties. Now, this agreement doesn't define any royalty structure, percentage, or even how the money will be calculated. But as you can see right here, this shows some of the information that's within the contract. And I guess this is somewhat a breakdown of how the royalties would be dispersed. But the artist could sell thousands of albums and have no clear idea what they're owed or even when they'll get paid, because it doesn't clearly define this information within the contract. So no defined royalty terms equals no financial transparency. That's a serious problem with this contract as well. Now, another big issue that you'll find in this contract will be the recording costs. Now, they say with the expenses, all costs incurred in producing and recording the artist's masters, including studio time, musician fees, union payments, instrument hire, producer's fees, tape editing, mixing, remixing, and other similar costs are treated as advances against the artist's future royalties and are fully recoupable by the company. All right? Now, the contract doesn't specify who pays for recording, mixing, or mastering. Well, actually it does, because pretty much if you're going by what this is saying right here, then the artist. But this means if said record label wants to charge everything back to the artist, they legally can by reading this information. Same goes for marketing and promotion. The agreement doesn't say what kind of effort or budget the label must put behind the project, though. So if the label barely promotes the music, the artist has no leverage to demand better support per this contract. So we have pretty much covered the whole of this contract. There's still a lot of minute, smaller things within this contract that are very sketchy. But we have not gone over the distribution and termination yet. So it gets worse. There's no defined distribution rights spelled out in this contract as well. That means that the artist has no control over how or where the music is released, streaming platforms, physical copies, you name it. And when it comes to getting out of this deal, there's no clear termination clause. So once you're in, you could be stuck for years, even if the label isn't holding up their end. So the artist, whoever this contract was for, man, I mean, I know just by going through what we've went through that they went through hell with this company. So what can we learn from this? Even though this exclusive recording artist agreement between said record label and said artist looks like a standard contract, it's packed with one-sided terms that favor the label. Before you sign anything like this, always have an entertainment attorney review it, or at least have an app like ClauseProbe where it can scan these type of contracts for you, find the red flags within the contract for you, and help you make a better decision. Now, I'm telling you, once you hand over your masters, your time, and your rights, it's kind of hard to get them back. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment if you want me to analyze more real music contracts and contracts such as these. Thanks for watching, and remember, read before you sign.